Alright. Here we go. Hello all you wonderful beings out there, and welcome back to another episode of What Does the Fox Play with Phoenix Firestar. I know I'm starting a couple minutes late. I ordered a new gaming desk. I was using an old school desk, but it didn't leave much room for me to use my recliner to put my feet up when I wanted to, or anything like that. And this gives me, like, my card table is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's built for board games and like 4 people to sit around it, so it takes up a lot of like overall square space. This is longer but not as wide, so I have room to keep it just about where I want in front of my whole setup. And it has a drink holder and a headphone holder, and when it's done it's going to have like a game rack and a controller holder with a pluggable in USB port. I got the main desk up. I just need to add on the peripherals, like the thing that holds the surge protector underneath, and the thing that holds the controller and can hold the game boxes. And I think that is about it as far as stuff I still need to add.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
How painful is your throat, Mr.
Should be
Goswick?
feeling
So
better,
painful,
hopefully.
I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest is up to me now.
Alright.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Don't waste your time with me.
1 second. Yes? You got snacks? Oh, I don't have any snacks. Pfft. I'm plenty good even if I don't have snacks. Thank you very much. Sorry, my mom's wandering the house looking for snacks, I guess. Anyway, welcome all you lovely beings back to another episode of What Does the Fox Play with Phoenix Firestar. We'll be continuing our playthrough of Vampyr. Don't worry, for those of you wondering, I will continue Batman Arkham. I'm trying to split the games up a bit so it's not the same stuff repetitively. One guy's suffering fatigue, one guy's suffering from headaches. I need to help them, I guess. Someone down there I haven't spoken to before. So, like 2 days in a row, I'll be a vampire. 2 days in a row, I'll be a Batman.
It's locked, all right.
Oh, I can hear him from over here, but not closer.
Sometimes you act like a real jerk, you know that?
Come on, Ozzy, don't be like that.
What, like what? Like someone who felt betrayed by the man he loves? Did you ever even try to find me? Rescue me?
No, it's not like that. I wanted to. I was so afraid to leave the hospital, not to be seen with you.
We survived this shit together. That's all that matters. I know you did your best.
I forgot that happened. Good for them.
Fuck the wall, right? And fuck them all. Fuck the wall. Fuck them all.
As long as they're happy. Sure, just shut him in.
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
Right.
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital, but I can't stand being closed in. It makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctors said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek
I mean, he
medical
kind
help?
of told you.
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
I mean, he's not entirely wrong.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. Newton sees it differently.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Sweet.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
Probably something in his childhood. I don't, because this is probably more long-standing than it is short. So it wouldn't have been during his time as a soldier. Nothing has led me to believe that he's been buried, but that would probably be a cause for claustrophobia.
Perhaps you were trapped or locked in somewhere as a child.
Yeah.
The horror of war could have brought this memory back to the surface.
Are you joking?
I will.
I grew up on a farm. I had a bloody fantastic childhood.
Ah, dang it.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
It was probably the buried then.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed of the Pembroke Hospital. May I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed. So it's you who saved my friend Oswald. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
And you are?
Newton Blight. Oswald and I recently returned from the war.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me,
So maybe it was war
I've got my
related.
own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we were in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other. But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find
What a
out?
talking.
Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know, never thought I'd love a man.
Enjoy your love. And enjoy life as long as you can, Mr. Blight. Don't let anyone tell you who you should love or how you should love them.
I appreciate your kind words, sir. But it ain't that easy. It's all so new to me.
Nah, there's always some.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It's
It
always
happened
rough.
last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, fingers, lips.
Oof,
Couldn't move.
that would have been awful.
Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking
On top
vermin
of
eating your
them.
flesh.
But I mean,
Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
oh, the unknown's the guy in the bed. Ooh, level 18. Ooh, that'd be bad for me. Level 11 isn't too terrible. trying to... Just use phosphorus gas. Don't worry, I just want to take a bite. I guess he didn't want to stick around for it. Huh. It's gonna be hard to try to order stuff all the time. Go shopping. Oh, this is hideout up here, I guess. I do need one for fatigue. I don't need one for anemia. Oh, here we go. Cold, bronchitis, pneumonia. Just tore the hinges right off.
I'll take it!
kill as many of these guys as I want. I gotta be careful about killing anyone else, though. Nothing in there? Oh, box of pills. Okay. Yeah, I'm not that brave just yet. Maybe with a few more powers under my belt. Well, looks like I'm doing it anyway. Oh wow, that did like next to nothing. It's like a very intricate dance. I just have to slightly sidestep that one. No need to dance around my magic powers. Wet Boot Boy's note. Concerning the recruitment of new boys in Whitechapel, I think I found one. Albie. He's as stupid as a stool, but tough. I asked him to prove to me he could get some drugs for the black market, and deliver quickly and nicely. Next time we meet, I'll tell him he's accepted as Wet Boot Boys, and he must now meet the bosses to get his orders. Well, now that he's taken care of, I guess I can go, keep going in the other direction there. Maybe I shouldn't have walked in here so early.
I cannot enter.
I might just have to be very careful. Yeah, these things are like quite a few levels higher than I am. I'm just going to take a couple quick little bites here. Oh, you don't suck on my neck. I did not give you permission for that. That was, that got pretty close there. Since it's just one of them down there, I should be fine as long as I don't get cocky. Mr. Bates must stop. For months, for years maybe, Cardigan Bates has exploited us. Mr. Bates must stop. If he had more money or proper jobs, he would never rent any of his extraordinary flats. Mr. Bates must stop. We all know that what revolving solution he proposes to the women who can't pay the weekly rent. Mr. Bates must stop revolting. Let's meet him together soon and demand for an immediate change. Oof, that's rough. Oh, it's this guy down here. I missed something. 5 shillings. Ah, no, sounds like you deserved it. I mean... That's a very nice way to talk to someone who just saved you. I mean...
What happened? Who are you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
Oh, a fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you
They
doing
would
here?
have, too.
This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent. But those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just...
I feel bad for saving
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages. This is Braille.
Text in Braille.
I need someone who can read this.
A cure for blindness. Someone wrote the cure for blindness and braille. That seems like an odd choice. He's suffering from cold. Okay, I was like, wait, I haven't been to the floor up. Then if I've been down here... No, I was up there on the second floor at some point. Because I had to go up there to get down to that room with Bates in it. Dang. There's too many of them all on top of me, and that one good attack that could have helped me thin the herd a bit. Missed. I just came out here for a fight, guys. I heard there's a few good places for it out here. I'm just gonna feed off you a couple times here. And I'll put you to good use. So pretty much an all-you-can-eat buffet. Is that level 18 back over there now? Nope. It's gone. Unless I've been like a little obstacle, just blocking the path temporarily for now. way too quickly. That was like 2 shots.
This one's mine!
Nibble, nibble. There we go. Those guys over there have me a little shooken up.
Filthy piece of shit!
This is a great way to do it. Ow. I need them to leave or stop noticing so I can come over here and open the door. That one was rough. They definitely had the advantage on that one. Sneaky, sneaky.
Die, vermin!
Used privet steak. Is that better than a regular steak? Is it like sirloin? The great hunt. Hail to our fallen comrades. Hail to our fallen comrades. Hail to their bravery, for we prevail. The guard prevailed, my brothers. We hunted them down, the enemies of mankind, hidden in the dark tunnels of our modern cities. We found them in their nests and dens, and they perished. We brought the fires of battle to the blackened pits. Never had such large-scale war been engaged by mortals against immortals. Remember this victory, my brothers, for it seals and proves our methods. Never sleep, never surrender, never give up. Yes, my brothers, our method is good, and England is safer tonight thanks to you. Thanks to those of us bitten and killed by the enemy, or our trembling hand when they turned against us. Do not tremble, my brothers, do not doubt. I cry tonight for the fallen comrades. I cry, for I am an old man who finally saw my goal accomplished as I lived my last years on this earth. The Guard of Pruin is only half a century old, and we have already accomplished much before the traitors of St. Paul in half a millennia. This was our first great hunt. Let them leeches who survived our wrath remember we won't stop. I'm in Whitechapel right now. Looks to be all that's here. I know I have to treat someone for the cold.
one of them. He's dead.
I get the feeling that you're not really taking it seriously, guy back there with the gun. You're not really doing much. Yes, mind the teeth. I just had this point.
I'll send you back in the fucking grave. Stop it, Leech! Die, vermin! Boy, I'll send you to hell.
That should not have happened. And now I don't have much blood at all.
Bloody monster!
I'm just gonna nibble on you real quick.
I'll take it! Don't like that, do ya?
I mean, I'm okay with it. You aren't doing too much to me at the moment.
Stop it, Leech! Bloody Leech! Die!
I will have you know, you guys are very annoying. Guard the freedom of us all. Join the Royal Fleet today. If you'd like to know more, ask at your nearest recruiting office. If I dropped in on him, it'd be awfully sad, wouldn't it?
It's locked, all right.
Ain't safe here, but... It's on it! It's on it! Fuck, it's fast!
The thing about the rookies is it looks like they're a little more unpredictable because they can do a little bit of everything. Unlike the rest of them, kind of just like stick within a certain lane.
That's what you do with leeches.
There we go. That's all taken care of now.
There's safe places to kill in here. Oh my god! Stop it!
Did you? I was right in front of you. You just turned your back on me. That is very disrespectful.
I'll send you back to the fucking grave!
I think I see why they call you the wall. You do not like to flinch, do you? I smack it and you just keep on going through whatever you're doing. Goodbye, Roger the Wall. I believe you have crumbled. Yes, take that. pick the dad jokes.
It's locked.
Huh. Thought I saw something shiny there.
I cannot enter.
I must have been wrong.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fella.
Ooh, found some shotguns, some shells. Wasn't much in there.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it! I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week old lamb.
What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You're slurring a little.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name.
Technically, you still have a
Now
name.
I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming
You just
up
shot
rough.
your son?
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just failed me last nerve.
I have found a very interesting letter. Your son planned to prove his worth to the gang by stealing your medicine.
Oh, I see. So the little bugger thought he could use his dad to build a reputation.
The gang's recruiter was dead when I found him. Perhaps you should take better care of your son.
I love my Albert, sir. Believe me. It's just... well, I'm an arsehole, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for the letter. This is for your trouble.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a
phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now. Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
They were following son.
Yes, you did. And it was cowardly and inexcusable.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
He's already wandered off.
Good
Ready
evening,
to the
Miss.
trash.
Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, miss.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar. Coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
I'm not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Well, I thought it said I unlocked something else for him.
A
but
gun?
Maybe it was for his son?
Boots will be proud of me.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young man.
Wet boots will be proud of me.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to
People
meet a fellow
preying
healer.
on the poor, the scared.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
You mean like what you're doing?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Huh. Look at that, I can buy opium.
The Swanborough Diet will be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
I mean, technically, I'm digging through trash too, so I don't really know if I can actually say much. Curfew. 9 p.m. Keep off the streets until 5 a.m.
It's locked, all right.
Turn around.
That's the end of that chapter. Alright, so I'm nearing the end of Whitechapel, I think. I don't want to go too far in that direction. There's just, it looks like it's just more soldiers out that way.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Off to somewhere else, I guess. Just the dead guy. Dead inside. That's rude. Rings, cigarettes, cigarettes, and more cigarettes. Look at that, more cigarettes. I broke it down. The only thing useful in it was the bottle. The other thing useful in this medicine. That was good. Enhanced damage or enhanced handling. It decreases your stamina consumption, increases damage. Done. I can switch this out for the Priven steak. Recovering, suffering from migraine, suffering from a cold. Ugh, cold. Bronchitis, migraine. Recovering. Suffering from fatigue. are some skulls inside I'm going to take care of. Survived. Vampires drink blood. This may be their most specific trait, the sinister peculiarity of their condition. You may say so, but for me, this is not the most important characteristic of their diet. What has always fascinated me since I started to study them is the imperative need for blood they seem to endure. They want it more than anything, and this desire can drive them to expose themselves. When they drink it, they seem to feel some sort of trance, an ecstatic epiphany. Said to me once a Volkoid I interviewed in Moscow. I'm convinced that this is an essential element to understanding the nature and condition of the vampires. They don't drink blood because it sustains them, but that it offers them ecstasy. Vampires are addicted to blood, all of them. It's part of their nature, and those among the immortals who refuse to submit to their appetite by the strength of their will only are never freed from their addiction. Unveiling the Night by Usher Talltree, Primate of St. Paul. Huh. This hideout releases all over the place. Yeah, I remember finding this one. That door, but it wouldn't let me in through this way at the time. So I must need to go around.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Heard.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson's son, but Colossus
Joe.
And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Sometimes I do things I don't want to do.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
You're actually healthy.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you can go. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me, since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened
I
to them?
really don't want to know the answer to that one.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent.
They don't care, but I'm
Something
still
to tell
telling the
some
story anyway. I feel that.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Huh. There might be something else at work there.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell. Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed,
Mortals?
and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost fought
So
myself.
many people believe science and religion are non-compatible. I don't think that's
What do you mean
the
when you
case.
say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu...
So-called Spanish flu.
...is the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
You mean to burn everyone.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled.
Quite a judgmental...
But you...
Well,
as a
what do you mean?
The beast.
We
must
what is...
cleanse...
Tell me, Tobias. What exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is
people
God's
like
will.
this.
You're mad. And dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these...
I don't think he does.
times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on
dead
some
now.
preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks
Oh, it
through the
hurts.
valley of the shadow of
It
death.
hurts.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I
That
may.
was blunt.
I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
That's fairly deep.
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley
I just turned you
before
down,
going back
please.
to their fancy houses in the West End.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Many people must deal with poverty, but not all choose to sell their bodies. That was your decision.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
I worry about who I'm going to eat all the time. I mean, what?
Tell me about
Are you...
I have no... Many...
And when
Do you know...
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss.
You're suffering from
Good evening,
fatigue. I
Change.
believe I have some
Do you need
medicine.
any assistance?
It
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss.
Alright, so now she's recovering. That's good.
It's locked.
They shut down the church. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war. But there is also a war going on here in England, a war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I'm writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown-ups now. And you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is what I must make now, to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me. Remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I'm as ever your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more.
If you are sick, if you have no money, whoever you are and wherever you're from, come see Dorothea to get help.
Leverage to enter. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. Very well.
I mean, if she's mute, that means she can't talk, right? I mean, technically, she should be able to sign, but she might not understand.
It's locked, all right.
I mean, I don't know, that might be a bit tricky. Just because she's mute doesn't mean she can... She's learned how to read the lips or anything like that.
You are blinded by your false faith.
I know mutes can use... I don't know. Oh, whole group of them. Gotta be careful with all that. But yeah, as a doctor, you should know that she shouldn't necessarily be able to talk as a mute. Like, she should be able to sign at least, but I don't know if he's capable of understanding sign. And I would be curious if he tried to vampire, like, you know, mesmerize, command her to talk or, you know, to communicate with them.
World already touched by... Good evening, sir.
But
I'm Dr. Reed. I would
she
like to
didn't
ask you a few
try
questions.
to
Please be my
communicate?
guest.
Is it because he
Although
specifically
I may not
wanted
be the best
her to
informant
talk?
regarding this part of town. My words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
It's eerie in a big city, though.
Peaceful? That's quite an unusual way to speak about the epidemic. And very inappropriate, I must say.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see
Be
it
in
for
the
myself,
center of it.
alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
For being a
If
poet,
some
an
misfortune
artist.
came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
He's got me there. I can't necessarily argue that.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercote, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Ooh. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
No, because she wouldn't be in Whitechapel.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Did you know the Mute Florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious Camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercote.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Same. At least I used to be, anyway. I'm a bit more, if not actually, like...
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But sorry, no, never heard of her.
Really?
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Yes, I may know enough about him now to convince him to let me through.
Hello again, miss. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
She's just like, really?
Very well.
I can't talk and you're gonna keep asking me questions and telling me to talk to you? Oh, he's also suffering from fatigue.
You are blinded by your false state, imprisoned by your daily routine.
Yes, I am definitely imprisoned by my daily routine.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught you in my investigation.
I will see you later. Goodbye.
So I need to make some more fatigue.
You again?
Goodbye.
Didn't mean to talk to you, meant to talk to you.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I'm investigating.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your
Perhaps
situation.
standing behind you.
Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual
Is it out of the usual?
As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then?
That's a little harsh.
Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
So you're just mad because you couldn't sell your goods.
Right then. Show me what you have.
You again? What do you want this time?
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Goodbye.
Your best friend is he?
You're late. Where's my money? Time to pay, one way or another.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
That is a ridiculous name. I am sorry, but it's ridiculous, right?
Goodbye for
Wet
now,
Boot
Mr.
Boys. Makes it sound like a delinquent gang of angsty youngins. And youngins makes me sound older than what I am.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Totter.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see, Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Yeah, just let me take some medical supplies while I'm here, I guess. Of my many journeys, I believe I was most amazed by my exploration of the Mediterranean islands, particularly the island of Santorini, searching for traces of vampire presence in these sunburnt lands. Herodotus himself refers to the islands in his 4th book. I'm personally convinced that there are many mysteries in the unveiled in this part of the world. Who knows that even today the island of Santorini is still considered by some of the most vampire-infested places in the world. Way more than the Carpathians, and that is inhabitants are considered as specialties of the vampire hunt, or specialists of the vampire hunt, or the hunt for Virkolakas, as they call this creature. According to the local myths, the Vrykolakas is a dead person who does not decay and who can show a vermilion complexion as long as he is gorged with fresh blood. He cannot enter a house without knocking and getting a response. Scarlet makes him flee. He does not consume under the sun, but his skin blackens. He can change into wolf and other animals. What struck me the most is that the same name exists with small variations, from the Mediterranean Sea to the Balkans. The Greeks called them Virkolakas. The Bulgarians and the Macedonians name him Varkolak or Varkolik. The Siberians call him Vukodlak. Yes, Vukodlak, a name so similar to the Volkord we already know. My dear brothers, just to write the few words now gives me the shivers. I'm personally convinced that there are more confronted to some now gives me a proto-vampire. Maybe they are missing a link between the modern vampire and the creatures that came before them. If God allows me enough time, I wish to one day to go back to the Santorini Islands and find the trail of this antique and forgotten figure.
It's locked, all right.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area. Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever, too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. But I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna take the shillings you have just sitting here. Oh wait, you have bronchitis. I believe I have the cure for that with me.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in. Yes?
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor? It must be my lucky day.
Goodbye, Mr.
Yes, you take that. You're a good man. Essence of clove. That doesn't sound good. And I don't mean just the buzzing. London, 31st of October. My dear Dorothea, when you read this letter, I will be on the boat that will take Anton and me back to Brasov. England was not for us, and I confess I cannot wait to see again the proud hills of Transylvania. As soon as we are there, I promise I'll light a candle in the Black Church and pray for you to survive this terrible epidemic. I know that you do not agree with this decision, and that you are determined to be more useful by helping our comrade exiled in the East End, but Anton cannot wait to return to our beloved country and see our long-awaited revolution bloom. He is my husband. I will stay by his side. I know we had our arguments and our fights. I know you would have wanted me to stand by your side and help you manage the clinic of yours. But now that I am leaving England, be assured that if anything would happen to you, if you ever were in great trouble or danger, I would come back immediately to London, with or without Anton. Please think of me as much as I think of you. I am your affectionate sister, Theodora.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor, none at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor.
Oof.
He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
I could not do that.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make
I can
another
play these
incision
games,
into the
but
chest
that
cavity
much
to drain the
blood
fluids from the
in
lung.
person, I
Prepare
cannot
another
do
tube.
it. I just could
A
not.
thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
If we had a better solution, I gave you a chance.
He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
I don't know
Cardiac
what to do.
massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
I don't know. I'm not a real doctor.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I may learn to combat this at some point. Next time I will know. I'll try to remember that cardiac massage is not a thing.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manner. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind,
Yes.
Doctor. Just another fine-heeled,
I know.
silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
The district will soon suffer the consequences of your actions. Wait, did I force her to abandon? I don't think I forced her to abandon Whitechapel, did I?
It's locked. It's locked.
Because that is not what I wanted to do.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top. Don't like that, do ya? Fuck! It's mine! Watch out for them teeth! Oh, that's gonna smart. This one's mine! Die,
I'm just gonna feed on you real quick.
Stop it! Murdering monster! That's it. Gotta have that kill.
Just a few little nibbles. Yeah, if this actually made her, like, leave Whitechapel, I will probably go back and try again.
Has been proven by many.
Because I did not want her to leave Whitechapel. I just wanted to,
Sick and suffering. The wet boots will be proud of me.
I took the long way around, maybe it looks like. Well, to know for certain, I gotta rest and evolve.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy!
They're easy to throw off balance, it looks like. There, you're all dead. A whole lot of you. I do love the vampire powers in those. They're pretty fun to play around with. This is my office? Yes, it is. Let's see. Let's increase my blood capacity again. I'd gotten that one. I think I like this one. Oh, I don't have enough for it, do I? I do not. Don't have enough of that either. Like that. I do have enough to increase the damage on my bite, though. Yeah, it caused Dorothy Crane to leave. So yeah, I'm gonna have to restart this. You guys don't have to watch me restart it. I'm gonna try and have it all caught back up to this point. I'll see you all in the next episode of Was the Fox Play with Phoenix Firestar. All of you have a good night. Thank you for showing up. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. All of you have a good night.